This is the Airhorn Podcast. Gonna slow down and talk about going fast. It's another mountain biking podcast. We might just answer questions you have. Listen at 1 1/4 speed. Listen in any order you please. It might be the worst, could be the best. Sometimes it's just me, sometimes there's a guest. It's the Airhorn Podcast.
Good morning and welcome to the Airhorn Podcast. I'm Alan from the MTB ALAN channel. This is my companion channel, the Airhorn channel, where we do podcasts and stuff like that. A lot of the times this thing is live. Today we're in the truck back again, classic style. Although today we're not getting coffee, we are headed to probably Lowe's. I was gonna go to Home Depot, but I might actually go to Lowe's because there's some kind of things there that I might need. I'm going to get some stuff to mount my GoPro onto the chin of my new helmet. You all probably know that I crashed pretty hard recently and I had to replace my helmet, and when I replace my helmet I have to redo the chin mount because the way I do it is not, I can't like move it from one helmet to the other. In any case, I'm doing that. I'm also heading down to Lowe's because I want to, and I've been reworking my office, which is my work from home space, but it's also my video editing space, and just really need to kind of clean it up, make it a little bit more minimal, or a lot more minimal. But also, what's kind of inspired this is I recently got the new M1 MacBook Pro that I'm like super stoked on, because I've been editing on a pretty old laptop and it's just been like choking on the footage that I take. You know, I think when I had like older footage, it did okay. You know, it's never been fast. For as long as I've had this YouTube channel, that laptop has never been very fast. But this, you know, like as the GoPro started putting out higher bitrate video, and you know, like doing high bitrate, 60 frames per second, 4K video, or I think, can I do 6K now? I can't remember. I can do like higher K videos. That laptop just couldn't handle it. So thanks to the ad revenue that I get from the main MTB ALAN channel, I was able to purchase a brand new laptop. So thanks to all of you who watch those, and I guess thanks to, I don't know who to say thanks to. Obviously y'all watching the videos helps bring in that ad revenue. So that's been good. And all the people that have bought stuff from my merch store, from the Teespring store, that's actually helped as well. Like I always say, all of that stuff, ad revenue, any merch that you buy, every cent of that goes directly into the main channel. So yeah, that's the that's the stuff. I apologize because I know we're gonna do Stoke of the Week, but some of you have dropped Stoke of the Weeks into your Stokes of the Week into the comments or whatnot, and I don't have any of that on me. I actually, so I'll have to kind of put that in next Airhorn Podcast. Sorry, we'll just kind of have to stack it up. So yeah, we're doing the thing. What's the news? In general, mountain biking news, I'm sure one of the big pieces of news that you may already know about is the new Bullet from Santa Cruz. Their new e-bike, I think it's like 170 mil. You know how like the Heckler was the E kind of equivalent to the Santa Cruz Bronson. It seems to me like the Bullet is the E equivalent to the Nomad. So that seems pretty cool. It seems like a pretty dang cool bike. The thing that I find really interesting about the Bullet, and this is true, I think, of an increasing number of e-mountain bikes, is that they're coming out mulleted with the 27.5 on the back and the 29er in the front. And this actually seems pretty neat to me, because if you know anything about mulleted bikes, you know that they are better at heading downhill, better at cornering, but they may get a bit of a tax on the climbing. So to put mullets to mullet an e-bike just seems to make sense. Anyway, yeah, so that's kind of the bike news. Is there other bike news? I don't know. I know a lot of people are kind of like in other parts of the country are stepping out of mountain biking right now just because of the weather, but we here in Southern California, that's one of the things I love about living in Southern California. Our season just means that we just ride at lower elevation, you know. So for me in the summer, I ride in the mountains as much as possible, and then in the winter I ride closer to the beach or down into the valleys more. Yeah, I don't know if I have any other news, you know. Yeah, okay, so Stoke of the Week. Stoke of the Week this week is, like I've already talked about, is me getting that new laptop. So obviously it's not like on the trail kind of thing, but when it comes to making my episodes for you crew, you know, I've always it's always been about producing the content, and whatever obstacles, whatever obstructions I have in my way, I try to find ways through those. So having a brand new laptop that is like has a really high level of performance. I don't know if you've watched any reviews or anything on these new Apple Silicon, these M1 chips, but we're talking like entry-level laptops that are blowing like professional level computers out of the water in terms of their performance, and specifically around editing video. So I'm really stoked on this. I do have a little bit of a handicap because I'm in the Adobe suite, so I use Adobe Premiere to edit, and After Effects. I actually haven't used After Effects in a long time because my computer just couldn't handle it, but I use Photoshop and all that kind of stuff. So the way it works is Adobe still needs to finish porting all their applications over to run natively on the M1 chip, and right now they all pretty much run through Rosetta, which is, I'm not exactly sure if it's an emulator or what it is, but there's basically a layer of translation between the Adobe applications and the M1 chip, so they don't run as performant as, say, Final Cut Pro. That being said, Premiere still is performing better than it was on my old laptop, and at least based on what I've seen on video reviews and stuff, it's running just as well as on a comparable laptop, or even better at times. Long story already long, this means that I can get more ambitious with my video edits, with effects, with just other stuff. I actually just started working with, I'm not going to talk too much about it because I'm not really sure if I'm going to use it too much, but I started working with a couple of other parts of the suite that allow me to do other just cool stuff, and hopefully will allow me to kind of vary up my content a little bit more. In any case, just I think being able to edit more quickly and edit more fluidly is hopefully just, I mean, I know it will just allow me to be more creative, allow me to be more ambitious with my edits. So I'm just like really stoked on that. Long old Stoke of the Week today. So, wow, I'm already at Lowe's. The thing I wanted to talk about really today is, so I'm sorry, I can't remember who suggested it, but somebody suggested on my Greer video where I crashed, they suggested I talk about how do you deal, or what do you do when you're on the trail, you can tell you're just wonky that day. You can't de-wonkify yourself for whatever reason, and then you're basically at risk because you can't get your head in the game. You just don't feel right on the trail. Hopefully you guys already kind of get what I'm saying. So I was thinking about that, and you know, I crashed that day because I didn't do the stuff that I knew I should do. So let's talk about that for a minute. So what I have normally done in the past is I've found ways to center myself. So as soon as I realize, I mean, ideally, like I'm centering myself before I'm even on the trail. and that can come with just general routines, rituals that you have before riding. I personally don't like to get too much into the superstitions about riding, you know. I just look at it as having some sort of ritual. So ritual is good. So that's, you know, I've done the kind of 5 tips to make your mountain biking life a little bit easier, where I talked about one of those things was just having a ritual around making sure you have your gear. Those kind of things are important to me because I like that period before I go riding to be really low stress. So as organized as possible, not getting lost, getting to the place as early as I can, and just keeping it really, really mellow. And what's funny about that is having structure around all that stuff actually gives me more freedom. If I'm just all over the place, if I'm unstructured before going for a ride, then I'm like, where's my shoes, where's my pads, and then it just adds a bunch of stress, and then I'm like bound up in the prison of stress, which sucks. So the structure of being organized and having ritual allows me to escape the prison of stress. Wow, that's funny. That's super like self-help language there. I'm sure Mark Hill from the segment will appreciate that, and probably Adam Mock too. In any case, so that's one thing. So that's just kind of the basic thing. But let's just say you get onto the trail and you're still feeling wonky. You're still just feeling like not connected. So I find that there's things that you can do on the trail that can help you out. And one of those is, I don't really need to understand why I'm wonkified. I just need to do something to get rid of it. And one thing I will do is before dropping in, I will do 2 or 3 quick, I don't know what they're called. I call them releasing breaths. It's a technique I heard about that apparently a lot of Navy SEALs will use, where you do this breath where you inhale and you exhale with a little bit of a almost like a sigh, where you're making a breath that's as if you're getting like, the way I explain it is, it's as if you just got a piece of relieving news. You just got some really good news, whatever it is. You know, you thought something was going wrong, you learned that everything was fine. So yeah, and you can probably already tell that that's already relaxing me now. I should probably do this before I do these Airhorn podcasts. Have I been calling these raw vlogs at the beginning of this? In any case, I find that really helps right before dropping in. I even do it when I'm not stressed out. Just because I feel like it tunes me in, it just relaxes my brain, and then I hit the trail. This also applies if you're going into a trail that you feel insecure about, that you feel unsure about. It applies if you're getting ready to hit a feature that you're scared to hit, all those kind of things. And if it's a day when you're specifically out of tune, even after doing that, so once I've done that, that doesn't necessarily fix everything. What it does though is it makes me open to being more tuned in. So do that before I drop in. Once I drop in, I just try to be smooth and keep consistent speed. So I'm not trying to go super fast. I'm also not tiptoeing around, just keeping, like, you know, just call it like medium speed. And then, you know, a lot of people will be like, I'm just cruising today. And I kind of like that term. In the past, I've said, I'm just going to take it easy today. And for whatever reason, those are the days when I tend to crash, or those are the runs where I tend to crash. But so, you know, because taking it easy and being careful, that can just lead to being overly tentative or tentative at all. So I like the concept of just cruising being smooth and being fluid down the trail. So that's where I'll start, and I'll do that, and I'll pay attention to what I'm doing and then being fluid. And then that allows me to, so the breath technique before makes me more aware, and then being aware on the trail and not trying to be smooth, but just being smooth, being relaxed on the trail. That allows me to tune in. It allows me to also sense where I'm at. And at that point, I just feel out where I'm at. And by feeling out where I'm at, it allows me to know how far I can go. So if, in the metaphor, if where I'm at right now is, a short distance from that high performing, aggressive riding, then I can push into that. But if where I'm at right now is far from that, I don't want to stretch too much. So I think that's where those crashes, those, being wonky and then crashing, I feel like is a result of trying to stretch too far from where I'm at right now to where I think I want to be. So being present, being relaxed, being in the moment allows you to feel where you're at, and then allows you to sense just how far you can push it. And maybe you don't need to push it at all. Maybe you can push it. So speaking specifically about that day at Greer when I crashed, and this is probably true of a lot of days that I've crashed, I was at a certain place and I allowed my environment to overly affect my desire for how far I wanted to push it. So in that case in particular, I had a guy in front of me who was a ripper. I didn't know him, just was following him down overdrive, and the guy was just flying. And of my own accord, I suddenly felt like I needed to keep up with him. Why I felt that? Pretty much just ego. And so I was pushing really hard, and going into the jump that I crashed on, I forgot everything that I knew, everything that I laid out to you crew in previous videos, and all I was thinking about was trying to get down the trail faster. So I did the thing where I came off the jump, I was looking through the lip to the ground already and thinking straight line where my bike wanted to go up. We were at odds with each other and I went OTB. So a lot of things piled up there, and I feel like a lot of the times when we crash, and I'm not talking about little spills or whatever where you just kind of skin your knee, but these hard crashes, I feel like a lot of the times they are the result of a whole series of things, starting from just basically whatever has caused you to not be in the moment and be aware, and then not be conscious of how, and allowing your desire to be at a certain point overrule your awareness of where you are and the distance between you and the place you want to get to. Because where you're at right now might be, you can get to where you want to get to, but that destination or that next spot on the trip might be a couple of days away. It might be a couple of sessions away. So yeah, that gets into just kind of the broader thing. So yeah, thank you to you. Hopefully I can find your username and maybe put it in the description. But thanks for that subject idea. It's a really good thing to talk about. Maybe I'll bring it up again in conversation with one of my fellow mountain bikers and YouTubers. So yeah, that's today's Airhorn podcast. I'm sorry that I didn't do this live, but I had these errands to run today, so I will be posting this up pretty soon. I mean, I'm posting it up right now. You're watching this right now. I'm in the future. So yeah, I hope you dug this. Hit the like button. If you're not already subscribed, you should be subscribed, because if you're watching this now, that just means that you're into this sort of thing, especially if you've made it this far, 20 minutes into this video. But do share this with your buddies. I'm trying to get this channel to grow because I feel like we can do good content on here. I want to interview more people. I do feel sometimes like I want to have more subscribers on this channel before I reach out to people who have more visibility in the mountain biking community, because I want to offer them something as well. Although maybe I should just do kind of what the segment is doing and just grab people and start interviewing people, because it's all good content. By the way, if you're into this sort of content as well, I would check out Mark Hill's stuff, his segment stuff, the segment. He's doing really good stuff over there. His channel is still pretty small, but and I get a little bit bummed out because I see the interviews he does, and the content that's in those interviews is just so good. But I for whatever reason, he's and he is actually really good at interviewing people, so I just want to support that channel. If you know me, you know that I don't give people shout outs when they ask me for them. I give people shout outs when I feel like they like you should see them, like I think you would dig them. So if you don't already subscribe to the segment, go over there and check it out, see if you want to support Mark Hill as well. All right, that's it. Hope you dug it. Hit the subscribe button, all that kind of stuff, and I'm gonna go buy some stuff at Lowe's. See you next time.